welcome to a brief demo on how to use DAC Trade Show Manager to create a show booking. A few words, first of all, you should be provided a link to the show's website, your user ID, your password, and the booth number that you will use to do the bookings. So let's go through some examples here. I'm going to log in using a user ID and password that are valid for my demonstration. Now I'm going to enter the booth number, and I happen to be working on booth number 3 in this session. So what you'll see in the beginning is something that looks like this. There are no bookings to display at all. So to start a new booking, you simply click the button that's titled Start New Booking. So I'm going to do that. That brings you to a place where you can select the customer to do the booking. I only have 2 here in my example. You can find from the alphabetical list the appropriate store or customer to do the booking. You can use these forward and backward buttons that I'm pointing to scroll forward and backward. You can also key part of the store name up here and hit this enter button, and it will find things that start with a particular letter. For instance, if I put K and press the enter button, then it just shows me customers that start with the letter K. Another thing you can do is if the person's badge, if the retailer's badge has an account number on it, you can key that full 6-digit account number, including any leading zeros, and go straight there. So I'm going to show you how that works by keying an account number and pressing the enter button, and it takes you directly into the bookings for booth number 3, which is the booth you're operating from, for that particular store that happens to be Kings Forest. So what we can do is you'll see all the items that are listed for the booth, and if there are more items listed than will fit on this first page, then this next page button appears, and you can click that, and it will take you to the next page, and so forth. So if that page is full, you can click next page again and go on and find more items. When you get to the end of all the items offered, when you click next page, it just takes you back to the very beginning again. If it's a booth that has multiple vendors involved, then this area up here will show up where it says select vendor. So I'll show you what happens if you click that. If that doesn't appear, then all the items are deemed to be from a single vendor. But if you see this appear, select vendor, if you touch that button on a tablet or click it with a mouse on a laptop or something, then it gives you a list of the vendors' products that are represented within that booth, and you can click on one of them or touch the little round button beside it, and it will show you just items from that particular vendor. Now, if you go through here and look at it and you don't find the items, or you want to go back to the full view again, you can do that by clicking select vendor and clicking the cancel no vendor selected button, which takes you right back, and now you see everything. Or the next page button would do the same thing if that's more comfortable for you. Either way, you can get back to the full set of items for the booth. Now, to actually start booking some things, what you'll do is the items that you're interested in, you can put a check mark beside them. So you can check as many as you need to check off, and then they will be brought up. So you check off the items that you're interested in and click continue. That begins to queue those items up, and they're brought up to you one after the other. So here, looking at this particular item, so if I want to book a quantity of 2 on the 15th of July, so I can just enter, I can either enter with the keyboard, or I can use the plus or minus buttons to adjust the quantities in here. When you're through with that item, you can click next item. It will progress to the next item. Now this item has to have a picture associated with it, so if there is a picture associated, that will show up at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to just put a couple of quantities in here to show you the mechanics. It's fairly straightforward. Just go through, and every time you click next item, it excuse me, presents the next item. And then when you've exhausted all the items that you've checked off, you come to a summary page that shows all the items, the dates, and the total quantities. If one of these items, if you need to adjust one of the items that's in there, you can simply touch or click the little circular button beside that item and it takes you back in there. Or if you want to return to the full booking page again, if you click return to booking, it takes you back into the full page. Now I want to point out a couple of things while we're in here. Once you've booked an item, a little check mark appears, as you can see right here. On the items that actually had a quantity booked for them, that lets you know the items that have been had a booking received so far. Now you can pick other items to go into at this point. It's still open-ended. You can do a lot of stuff. And I also wanted to point out these in these little rectangular boxes, the save 75 cents, save $1.50, save $1.75, etc. Those are off invoice discounts. So that can show up to advise the person in the booth what type of incentive they have to buy that product. It might say save, in which case it'd be off invoice discount. It might have the verbiage that says price, in which case it is the special show price. Or it might say points in the circumstance where the distributor gives points for different items and then gives those points to allow tickets for a drawing or some other mechanism they have in place. I'll grab just a couple other items while we're in here. Check those off, hit continue. So it's the mechanics just go like this. So there's a picture of that item. So as simple as that, if you decide, no, I don't really want that, give me 2 on that date. So you see how the mechanics of it go. Next item brings up the next item that you checked off. Maybe I look at that and I don't decide not to book it at all. So that's sort of the way you go through. So you can jump back to everything with return to booking. You can go to a specific item by clicking the button beside it from the summary page, and when you're done, you can click finished, which brings you back out to this page here. So you're ready to start another booking for another customer. In the circumstance, if a customer comes back by the booth and they want to amend their order, you simply click this little drop down beside that customer, click edit, and then you're back in and you can do more work on it. I'm going to hit cancel. I could have hit continue since I didn't select anything. It does hit the same thing. I'm going to say finished, so I'm there. So just to show you real quickly, start new booking, to begin a new booking, click on the customer. Pops up the page where you can select some things. We'll grab a couple items out of here. And there is information about the item, how it's packed, and the retail packing information shows up on the page up near the top, or on the main page when you're in here. I'll go back to return booking, you'll see this information out over here. Just describes how many retail units are in what you're buying and what their ounces are, or other descriptive information that's helpful. Back out, back over to the main page. And so there we are. And when you're through or need to take a break or want to stop, you click the log off button. You'll be returned back to the place where you initially typed in your user ID and password, and there you go. So thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful.